and welcome to the third tutorial in our series of videos detailing on how to create a chat server in Ruby. In our last tutorial, we started the real programming, and we finished off programming our initialize method and got most of the way through programming the run method. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick up where we left off. We also created we wrote what happens if they're trying to connect to the server and also if they're trying to disconnect to the server, but we haven't addressed the main functionality, which is what if someone's sending data, just sending data to the server. And this would be in the form of a message. And so what we're going to do for this is just like we did in our previous message our previous portion where we were broadcasting this string to everyone that our client was leaving, we're actually going to do the same thing, except we're going to just say their message. So just their message. So we'll go ahead and I'll just retype this again. You could copy and paste it. It's going to be a little different, but we'll just use the same variable. String equals sprint f. And what we're going to do this time is just kind of set up this, I don't know, something that maybe looks like this. And that's going to display who it's coming from. And then we also want to display the message. So we're actually going to have three variables this time. The first two are going to be the same. So it's going to be sock.peer addr2 and sock.peer addr1. And remember, these are sock.peer addr2 is going to be, that's their main IP, and 2 is their unique identifier. Okay, and our last variable is going to be sock.gets. And what this is going to do is going to ask for input from the client, and it's going to take whatever that input is and broadcast it. Okay, and then we'll use our broadcast string method again. And we're going to send it the string. And again, we don't want to send it to the client who's sending data. And that's all we need for the run method. Pretty simple. A few little things to watch out for, but or to think about. But other than that, pretty simple. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. This is the main functionality, whereas run was the main interface. Broadcasting is the main functionality that we're going to need because this is actually going to do the sending of data. And so what we want to do for this, what we want to do is the main objective is to figure out, first we need to know who is sending it. We need to know who we don't want to send it to, and more than anything, we need to know who all to send it to. So to go ahead and first get started, what we need to do is because we want to know who we're going to send it to, we need to cycle through that descriptors array that we made before. So to do that, we do @descriptors dot each. So that means for everyone do ClySock, and so what that's going to do is going to give us their socket name. And of course we want to end that as well. And we want to check if ClySock does not equal serversock. Server socket, and ClySock does not equal omitsock. Then what we want to do is we want ClySock. So this is going to go through every single one, and in ClySock.write our message, which was str. And so that's what we do when we want to end the conditional. That's pretty easy, really, really functional, but also very easy. And our last thing that we want to do inside our class is define the accept new connection method. This one is a little more complicated than our broadcast string method, but still pretty easy. So what we're going to do first is we want to define a new socket for the incoming user. So we'll say new sock is equal to server socket dot accept. So we're going to accept that connection, and we're going to give it a variable name that we can reference later. Okay, next we want to push this into our descriptors array. So we actually used this code before, if you remember, in initialize. So descriptors.push. But instead of server socket, now we want to push our new sock. Okay, next now our new client has been accepted into the socket and added to our descriptors array. Now we would just want to send them a message that says that they've successfully joined. So we say new sock dot write you have been accepted into the Ruby chat server. And of course add a new line. Okay, and next thing we want to do is just as when a client was disconnecting, we sent a message to everyone. We also want to send a message to everyone if they are just connecting. So just as we've done before, we want to set a variable, we'll call it str, and it's going to be sprintf client joined, let's say. And we'll do our %s colon %s and a new line. Okay, and just exactly the same as before. First one is going to be sock.peer address 2. And second one is going to be sock.peer address 1. Okay, and we can close that off, and that's all we need there. And then we're just simply going to go ahead and broadcast that string. And we don't want to send the new sock because they have already been alerted in their own custom message. Alright, and that is everything inside the class. Now, we only have 2 lines outside the class that we need, and this is to create, to initialize the class and create a instance of it. So to do this, we just use a variable name. I'm going to use my chat server, and it's going to equal chat server dot new. And then we're going to define the port that we want to give it. 2626 sounds good for me. That can really be anything that you want. And then we just call the run method. So we say my chat server dot run. And that is everything. I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. And in our next video, I'll go ahead and do a demonstration and we'll debug the code. Thank you for watching.